Hey guys, welcome back to Lovin Dubai Show. It is Tuesday morning and our top story today talked about how Dubai's Crown Prince has shared his support for Palestine, along with big community developers are cancelling celebrations considering global events.
And speaking of which, there is an outcry from the general public to stop the regional conflicts and they are calling for peace. War is not a joke. That is the general consensus right now. And no matter who you speak to, from which part of the world, they're going to be saying the exact same thing. Stop the ongoing conflicts and just have a ceasefire. That's basically it. And speaking of, the community, we also spoke about the Indian community coming together for Navratri celebrations, big religious festivities going on at the moment. Today is the last day, but we saw a week long of just the community coming together, celebrating with their friends and family, a very joyous occasion for the community.
We also spoke about traditional and non-traditional events taking place. For example, a Camel beauty pageant is coming, and we got the lowdown on the Dakar rally from an Irishman who's planning to participate in the January event. Take a listen. Good morning, Dubai. Welcome back to Lovin Dubai Show, where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. Our top story yesterday, Dubai's Crown Prince shares his support for Palestine.
We'll also be talking about how war is not a joke. There's an outcry from the general public to stop regional conflicts as they call for peace.
Moving on to another story, a Camel pageant is coming to the prize money tune of 60 million dirham. We'll talk all about that.
And the Indian and Hindu expats in Dubai come together for auspicious Navratri celebrations. More deets on that as well. And
later on in the show, we're talking all things motorsports and the Dakar rally with Oran O'Kelly. He'll be with us after about 8:50, I would say.
There's no sound on Instagram. You guys are messaging in. Can someone come and check that, please?
Good
no
morning.
Audio, no voice. Okay, we're working on it. We're working on it. Thanks.
We could just mime.
On today's news, Nats is on the case. Even
okay, we're just fixing the audio in Facebook. Can you give us a shout out that you can hear us? That would be spectacular.
I think we get the most engagement when there's no sound.
That's so true.
Okay. We can't hear you. We can't hear no sound.
No, I think
Okay, guys, can you all hear us now? There's a problem with the sound. No sound. Still no sound. Technical issue.
Look,
we're currently attending.
Green things aren't coming up.
Yes.
It is. It's on the back side.
Should we just take it out?
Take it out again.
Kabir, there we go. It's better now. Someone says it's better now. I can hear now.
Welcome back. Someone saying good voice, Simran. Therefore, I believe you can hear her. Good, we are back. Yes, it's Tuesday morning and we're about to start the show. Thank you so much for your technical feedback. We really appreciate it. And Natasha and Masa for running in to help us. Thanks, guys. Okay, so you might have missed our top stories, but we're going to run into our top story of the day now. Dubai's Crown Prince shares his support for Palestine. So on Sunday, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Crown Prince of Dubai, shared a message of solidarity with Palestine. His post followed President Sheikh Mohammed's plea for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza.
So basically, the Instagram story featured a photo of the dome of the Rock Mosque in Jerusalem's Old City with the Palestine flag waving in the background. The caption, translated from Arabic, conveyed a heartfelt message: Palestine, oh God, be their mercy and strength.
Many people are questioning events at the moment in Dubai, whether they are ongoing, whether they'll be postponed, and more events have been cancelled or postponed, with Nikhil becoming the second major developer to announce the postponement of events. Nikhil's community management team referred to the current global situation and the impact of this on our global community as the reason for the cancellation. Nikhil said they know many of you were looking forward to these events, so they really appreciate your support on this, what we imagined was a not easy decision. They said our thoughts are with those affected by recent events and we stand in solidarity with them during these challenging times.
It just shows so much strength from all of these developers and the country and the people and the community, because you know how much business these events bring in. And we spoke about this yesterday as well. And then the decision to stop it just to stand in solidarity with what's going on and the people suffering at these times. It's a massive move. And speaking of which, with what is going on, there is an outcry from the general public to stop regional conflicts as they call for peace because war is not a joke. And amid escalating tensions in West Asia due to the ongoing Israel-Gaza conflict, the deployment of 6 Chinese warships to the region has raised concerns and ignited a strong public outcry for peace. The integrated supply ship, like there's a bunch of ships that have been sent out, the Naval Escort Task Force, and this is part of the People's Liberation Army PLA that's by China, and they recently participated in a joint military exercise with Oman, underscoring China's expanding presence in the region. The US also sent out its most advanced carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, and a battle group to West Asia.
In response to latest developments, the public is raising their voices in unison, advocating for an immediate end to the ongoing conflict and calling for a ceasefire. This is in line with the government statements as well. The sentiment is reflected in Hassan Haider's tweet. He basically said, war isn't a joke. It doesn't seem too big of a deal when you're inside your warm, your comfy home, but innocent people are losing their lives.
Exactly. And as these global concerns grow, the call for peace becomes more urgent, with citizens around the world emphasizing the necessity to stop regional conflicts and avoid further loss of innocent lives.
It's worth noting the UAE's stance on this and their major efforts to promote peace during this trying time. Dr. Anwar Gargash, who is the diplomatic advisor to the president, he went to Twitter and he shared his stance on the developments. He said the diplomatic endeavours of the UAE, along with the bridges of goodwill and messages of solidarity, offer solace and relief. These efforts arise from the heart of our national and humanitarian approach. Given the current situation in Gaza and the region, human solidarity and political wisdom are imperative as primary tools in a battle that poses a threat to the entire region. It remains our paramount duty to protect our homelands.
Exactly. Right now, the general consensus is the world wants peace. They want conflict resolution. They just want stability in the region. They want communities to thrive, people to thrive, and no loss of innocent lives. That is basically the outcry from all over the world.
So true. And I think what you said about the beginning about events, it is a strength move to cancel events. You know, we are a thriving economy, and we know that the city, has put so much effort into tourism things. So to actually, for the major developers to say, look, we're actually stopping and taking a stance and saying we're not going to host things at the moment, to recognize what a difficult time this is for everyone as a global community, then I think you're right. It is actually a power move to say no at the moment.
Exactly. And the UAE always sets the bar for such things. They set the precedent, and yeah, like they're doing for this exact situation that is ongoing at the moment.
And the wording for ceasefire and looking for peace, that comes directly from Anwar Gargash, as we said, who's political advisor to the president. And it's a keen push that the government is trying to make. And that is something that we definitely stand behind. Moving on to our next story. This happens every year, and we're going to deep dive a little into what it actually means. So there's a Camel beauty pageant happening right now. The Masna, which is the Camel Beauty Contest, has been launched at the Sheikh Sultan bin Zayed Heritage Racecourse in Suwayhan, Abu Dhabi, as part of the 17th edition of the Al Dhafar Festival 2023. The first phase of the festival involves tens of thousands of camels from across the Arabian Peninsula. There's about 360, guys, imagine tens of thousands of camels, 361 rounds, and it focuses on pure breeds from different lineages, and it runs until 28th of October.
So the festival highlights the role of camels in the culture and heritage of the UAE and the GCC countries through camel Mazania competitions held in Abu Dhabi for purebred breeds in various categories.
So what actually wins it for these camels? There's a 60 million dirham prize fund up for grabs across all the categories for these beauty queens of the desert. Camel beauty competitions are divided into different categories, as we said, according to their breed, age, sex, and then whether a camel is actually owned by a sheikh or a tribesman. The ideal camel, by the way, if you're ever driving along the road, they have long straight legs, a long neck, a shapely hump in just the right spot on its lower back. They've got pert ears, impressive eyes framed by upward curled eyelashes. They've got long droopy lips and, of course, a sleek coat and elegant posture. And yes, they will be adorned with jewelry.
I feel like we're talking about my sister here.
So true. But this is what they've had to...
So true?
No, but in terms of it sounds like you're describing a beautiful, elegant lady.
I guess long, droopy lips. Yeah, but beauty standards for camels are so Interesting.
Go
Because
on.
a camel, I traditionally would have thought, oh, this is a beautiful camel. Then you would go into like, what are the requirements of a actual, like a contest winner?
Long legs, shapely hump, eyelashes. I mean,
No, when I saw one of these videos, like weeks ago, and Vice made this video on like camel contests in the UAE and in the Arabian region, it just showed like the camel winners, and it's like they're very different to what I would traditionally think should be the camel winner.
so in terms of what we just said, like per ears.
No, when they say big droopy lips, they mean massive droopy lips for these camels, like massively so. And you're just looking at them like, oh.
So because of the prize money, and this has been going on for years, they've had to be very careful on the regulation. It's like if you're going into the World Cup, they're going to be strict on what's going into the camels. So there used to be, and I don't know if this still happens, but there was Botox happening for these animals,
Yes.
to provide them with those, to accentuate their features. But they're really strict on that now. And hopefully there's no camels being pumped up with Botox.
Yeah, not just that, they also have selective breeding that is like major, like in terms of finding the breeding the exact qualities that you want for your camels, and making sure, because at the end of the day, this has been tradition for the longest running time. It involves massive amounts of money, and it's like if you see the visuals of these camel races, you will see contestants pulling up in their Lamborghinis, in their really fancy cars, and then you'll see like the show happening in the desert with your traditional outfits and all of that. So it's like such a mix of worlds, like tradition meets meets modern in such weird, unexpected ways.
But it's interesting because someone's saying, that's so fun, can we go? So yes, and this is actually the heart of culture in the UAE, the Al Dhafar Festival, and this, the Mazna, which is the camel contest, is just a part of it. It celebrates the essence of Bedouin life in the heart of the empty quarter. So it's really interesting, as you said, to just go out and experience it. You're surrounded by towering sand dunes. I think that's also where they have those kind of like some of the competitions to see how high you can go up on the dunes as well.
Yeah, they have majlis setups, and it's quite an interesting time. Like everyone is just like out there with their camels. It's quite like there's a buzz. There's a massive buzz in the deserts right now because of these camel beauty contests.
But also along with the camel beauty contest, there's a lot going on throughout is it 7 or 10 days? They've got Arabian Saluki dog races, falconry, handicrafts, palm fronds, weaving and embroidery. So actually, if you are interested, it's an incredible taste of UAE culture. Speaking of culture and how the UAE is home to so many and so tolerant of all, we jump into our next story.
Okay, so Indian and Hindu expats in Dubai are coming together for auspicious Navratri celebrations. Now, today is the last day, but Dubai's Indian community recently came together for a week full of vibrant celebrations as they observed the auspicious festival of Navratri. This joyous occasion, held in honor of the divine feminine goddess, marks a time of spiritual significance, self-discipline, and a profound connection with the divine. Navratri is a Hindu festival that spans 9 nights, usually falls in the month of Ashwin, which is around September, October, hence the timing of it all. It's time for devotees to immerse themselves in rituals, prayers, a lot of fasting, cutting out vices, yagnas dedicated to the goddess. And during this period, it's believed that one can attain purity, salvation, and positive energy by cleansing the mind and soul.
Love that so much. Dubai's Indian community embraced this festival with open hearts and open arms. This week was filled with prayers, family time, vibrant traditional dances like the Garba and Dandiya, and of course, delicious feasts. It was a time for people to not only honor their faith, but also to strengthen their bonds with their roots with each other. And as the music played and the dancers twirled onto the glittering Dubai skyline, it was a testament to the resilience of the tradition and the power of unity.
These Navratri celebrations really showcase the rich tapestry of Indian culture and traditions, reminding everyone that even far from their homeland, the spirit of togetherness and devotion continues to thrive. So here's wishing to all those celebrating a happy Navratri filled with love and blessings. I mean, at times like this, you really do count, you feel so much gratitude for everything that you have. So you do want to surround yourself with your family and friends and just make sure these moments are just savored. And that's what people all over the world are doing right now. And I feel like with these religious festivals, right, when you go into when you go into it and go like, okay, what is the meaning of it? What is the inception of it? Like, basically, it's so similar with all religions, right? Like, even I think with Christianity, you have that duration where you're just like fasting. I think before
Easter, we have Lent.
Before Easter, yeah, exactly. And you cut out your the thing you love the most, or like your vices, you cut it out for a period of days.
Yeah,
if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for 40 days coming up to Easter, we're not as strict as I think other religions might be. It might be, you know, growing up it was like chocolate, sugar, something, and then maybe you'll try and do one thing that, like that, as you said, is your vice. So coming up to Easter, and then when I was younger, I would always like store all the chocolates that I might have eaten, and then on Easter Sunday, you're just a glutton, which is totally critical to the whole thing that you're meant to be doing to practice discipline.
But thing. Yeah, that's like so normal for like kids, you know, like you give it up for this many days, but it's like practicing self-discipline, even getting through that and knowing at the end there's like a treat waiting for you. It's still teaching you something because you're getting through that duration, and that's exactly what I feel like all religions have that practice, you know, like for a certain period of time, you give up what you love, or you give up something that you like eating, something that you like doing, just to practice self-discipline.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
But what you also said, which I thought strikes a chord with many, is how being able to celebrate these family and religious festivals at this time, being here. I know that if there's something going on at home, I would immediately feel homesick, but knowing that there's, you know, that I could get together with my loved ones and still celebrate that at a difficult time would make a difference, because otherwise, you know, just to have those, you know, that culture here, even though you're not in your home country, is amazing. And I think it's a big testament to how the UAE has kind of allowed cultures to kind of like find their place here in the UAE, even if it's not tradition. It's an amazing kind of strength of the UAE, I would say.
So beautifully said. And anyone coming down from any part of the world to the UAE, right? It's like you are anytime you move away from your homeland, you're skeptical as to like the new beginnings that you're you know, like getting into. But in the UAE, it's like, even if you're alone, you will find your community, you will find your people, you will find someone with the same interests as you, you will find the people celebrating the same festivals as you. So you will always find your home here in the UAE.
So from Navratri, maybe camel racing is your camel beauty pageants is your thing, Oktoberfest, you will find it here in the UAE. Someone's saying happy Navratri. Am I saying it right? Navratri?
Navratri. You got it.
Happy Navratri to you, dear. From Namishi.
Why not stop saying that?
Why?
I'll tell you after the show.
I've said it wrong, haven't I?
No. Navratri is right. Like, happy Navratri, dear. It's like...
I love dear at the moment as a term of endearment. I think it's great, but I'm saying it all the time.
Yeah, I know.
But it said it here as well. I was just mimicking.
It says happy Navratri. Oh, okay. Someone said happy Navratri, dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone's also saying Botox on animals. Well, yes.
Yeah. No.
Okay, 8:50. That brings us to our topic of the Dakar Rally. If you have any questions on one of the most testing motorsport races of all time, we're going to have Oran O'Kelly with us to talk about it right after this very short break. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. The Dakar Rally is considered to be one of the toughest and most prestigious events in the world of motorsport. So right now we're joined by the first Irishman to compete in the Dakar Rally since it moved to Saudi Arabia in 2020. Welcome to the show, Oran O'Kelly. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys. Thank you both for having me on, and thank you Lovin Dubai for having me on the TV show. Really, really appreciate the opportunity to get out here, to introduce myself, to introduce our team, and to give everyone a bit of a better idea about the Dakar Rally. And now that it's in Saudi Arabia, quite close to home, let's get stuck in.
Great. Okay, my first question to you. What is the Dakar Rally?
Okay, great question to kick things off. So the Dakar Rally is basically the ultimate test of what I believe in motorsport of athlete and machine. It's designed to really test the human body, to test mechanics, for the ultimate challenge within motorsport. It's the absolute pinnacle. It's a race that lasts over 14 days and spans a distance of 9,000 kilometers. So that's about the same distance as driving from here to the UK, say London, for example.
Oh, whoa. That really puts things in perspective.
Yeah, so the ultimate test, and it's not on roads. It's all designed on the most challenging off-road terrain that there is to offer.
Are you talking about something like this?
Yeah, so that's actually in Abu Dhabi. There's a World Championship round that's held in Liwa called the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. So that's actually the second round of the World Championship after the Dakar Rally. So that's seen as the most challenging race specifically. Now that race is actually only a week long. So the Dakar Rally itself is 2 weeks long. So it's nearly double the feat of it. If you look at something like Formula One, Monaco is probably seen as the most prestigious event. In our context, the Dakar Rally is the most difficult and the most prestigious event that there is.
So we have the equivalent of an F1 racer on our show today. But who does these races and why?
Okay, so that's a great question. They're basically predominantly, there's 5 different categories. You've got the motorcycles, which I definitely consider a little bit biased. It's probably the most challenging category. Then you've got small cars, bigger cars, and then big trucks as well. But the team I race on is a locally based here team called Vendetta Racing, and I'm really standing on the shoulders of giants with getting stuck in with them and racing with them. There's 2 members of the team, David McBride and David Mabs, who I've been racing with, and have really provided me the opportunity to race at Dakar Rally and the rest of the World Championship events. But there's a different spectrum, as you mentioned. You have the elite level professional athletes that are full-time training day in, day out, training very similar to Tour de France athletes. The level of endurance, the level of calorie burned in some of our events are very similar, go toe-to-toe with that. It's very similar to doing an Ironman every day. So you've got all the way to elite level athletes, all the way down to the weekend warriors like myself and my team members are, where we're out training during the weekends, sometimes getting out of work a little bit early, sometimes getting out ahead of work in the mornings. But we all have day jobs that we're doing and then going and competing at a world championship level, representing our countries. And we're actually the biggest UAE-based team. So we'd be the biggest team going from the Emirates to represent at the Dakar Rally in Saudi Arabia.
So cool.
That's incredible what you're doing for Ireland and representing your country and like representation as a whole. But like you said, you have a day job and you're a weekend racer. How do you find the time for, to fit in training and all those things? And how is the money in the sport?
Yeah, so that's a big juggle. I think there's probably the work life, the rally life, or the rally life, and then the personal life as well. Trying to manage relationships, but also trying to ensure that the work is going well as well. So it can be a complete juggle. During the racing season, which really kicked off in September, which will go the whole way through now till April, May, it's a challenging time. But with the right planning and preparation, training throughout the summer, a lot of times you'll be getting up at 3, 4 a.m. to go out and train in places like Swayhan or out in Liwa to really make the most of the summer and get ahead of the heat.
But what motivates you to do it? So are you trying to become an elite racer, or is it the love and the passion of the sport?
A bit of both, really. I guess that would be the passion and that would be the dream. I actually had the fortune of being born and growing up in the Emirates, so it's a bit of a home away from home. I'm of an Irish nationality, but Dubai definitely has a close place in my heart. And to be based here, to train here, it's such an opportunity to really get stuck in. So definitely have big ambitions to try and make it big in the sport. But at the moment, just focusing on the Dakar Rally, preparing myself to be in the best possible position to perform well at it.
Okay.
So how is the money in this sport?
So like any other motorsport, it is incredibly expensive. Thankfully, we've got some incredible partners that have come on board to support us, to support our dreams, and also to use this as a vehicle to promote their companies with such a unique opportunity. The whole of Dakar Rally is very similar to a summit or an expedition. There's an enormous amount of work in the preparation, physically, mentally, mechanically, and then preparing for the Dakar Rally as well. Like if you see the route that goes all through Saudi Arabia, 95% of the time you don't have phone signal, you don't have access to running water, you definitely don't have access to spare parts. So you really, really need to prepare to ensure that you bring everything you need so that when you're stuck out in the middle of an area like Alula with the beautiful scenery and backdrop, you really have everything you need.
So is there like when you win the competition, like is it large sums of money that you're being rewarded?
Yeah.
How much, if Simran got involved tomorrow and she got the prep, how much could she win?
Yes.
There's big prize money, I think, in the if you're finishing in the top 10. But just to finish the race itself is an incredible accomplishment. Okay. There's about a 50 to 60% finish rate. So the level of failure mechanically, physically, is incredibly challenging. So just to finish the feat is very much like summiting K2 or Mount Everest or something similar. It's quite an achievement amongst the whole of motorsport just to finish the Dakar Rally itself.
This is what we've seen. They say that amateur, like yourself, will struggle to finish it. And actually, the rates we got were, it's got a 38% completion rate. So maybe that's wrong. But what type of challenges stop people from finishing? So what do you face along the way that doesn't get you to the finish line?
Great question. So there's a couple of different elements to it. When we think of racing or we see car racing on television, you're on a fixed track. With the Dakar Rally, 30% of it is actually navigation. So a lot of the times you're out there in the middle of nowhere, beautiful scenery like Saudi has to offer, but you're navigating through a paper scroll. So it's a very traditional old school way of navigating, and that is a huge element in the race. Lots of racers get lost, lots of racers get fatigued cognitively from the constant ability to navigate. And you can see from some of the shots how you're riding in some of the most challenging terrain that's possible, and it's changing constantly. So trying to navigate in areas where you have no context of what way north is, what way south is, what way the tracks are going, can constantly add to that. And you're often racing at speeds up to 180 kilometers an hour. So if you can imagine driving on Shakeside Road at, I think, 110 or 120, what it is today, if you imagine an extra 60 kilometers an hour on top of that, where you're racing across terrain that's completely unknown, you've never been on it before, and you're never going on it again, while you're navigating is almost like texting and looking down.
You're used to it, Casey. Come on. The way she drives that car of hers, you know, you won't
No,
even
I'm
see
just
her.
thinking, imagine being in the middle of the desert with nothing around you and
Yeah,
going really fast,
that's
but actually not knowing where you're going. Like the mental challenge that you face must be really scary.
100%.
Exactly, and that mental fatigue kicks in some of the days on the bike, or if you're on a car, and can be 15, 16-hour days. So the amount of calories burnt are similar to an Ironman. You're looking at 4,000 or 5,000 calories. And a lot of times, I think you'll see from the videos, you're not sitting on the bike. You're actually standing, squeezing the bike. So imagine trying to squat against a wall for 14 or 15 hours, the level of endurance you need to do that, and then cognitively to process information, to understand, are you going south, are you going north? And often you get caught up in the competition. So you're looking at trying to compete, battle with other competitors, that guy or woman that's a little bit faster than you, or that person that's a little bit slower than you as well.
This is insane. He compared squatting against one for 15 hours. So tell us, what is one of the most challenging obstacles you faced on the course, any of your courses?
I would think fatigue. Like if you speak to a lot of the athletes, they'll say, oh no, it wasn't that difficult, it wasn't that challenging. But being completely honest with you guys, you do hit that wall. I'm sure you've heard it with marathon runners or other endurance athletes. You get to a point where your mind begins to give up. It feels like your body begins to give up. But to be able to continuously push and press on through that is often challenging, but also very rewarding once you can break through that barrier.
So the Dakar Rally originally was, the route was, it was in South America, and it was also Europe, and it was cross countries. In 2020, it moved to Saudi Arabia. What were your thoughts on that as a shift, and are you happy about it?
Yeah, so growing up as a kid in the Emirates, the Dakar Rally was always a fantasy and always a big dream of mine, something that I probably put to bed when I realized how the real world works and jobs and careers and everything else work. But then when I saw it move back to Saudi, or move to Saudi from South America, I thought, here's a real opportunity to kind of dig that childhood dream up again and to try and push towards it. So I spent the last 3 years really preparing to compete at this upcoming Dakar Rally. Last year I went and worked with one of the car teams. Nothing fancy or exciting, was just driving a camper van and cleaning toilets. But I saw it as a recce and prerequisite to what was needed in order to prepare for the world's most challenging motorsport event. But now being in Saudi is so exciting. Like Saudi itself is an unbelievable continent. I went there a little bit naive, thinking, it was just similar to Liwa or Swayhan in deserts, but it's incredibly beautiful. If you go up to areas like Alula or Neom, the landscape and terrain offers something like the Americas. The variation from temperature to climate to natural beauty, it really is something that has to be seen with your own eyes.
And how is it equipped to host this kind of internationally recognized event?
It couldn't have been prepared better. When I was there last year, it was like clockwork. Everything was unbelievably prepared. All the facilities, all the support facilities and transport and logistics. It was like something from a different level. I haven't seen anything like that before in Europe or in the Americas, where something is so well prepared and they nearly had a solution to all the different problems that could have occurred.
Oh, that's incredible. You wouldn't really, firstly, like these rallies are massive. And then to think that Saudi has really equipped itself to such an extent, it's quite impressive. But you going into these rallies and you're saying you have like a day job, you get so much adrenaline when you're, like doing the course. How do you manage to get yourself back in the work mindset?
Yes, so that jump and challenge is all part of it, really. Like I said before, I think half the battle, or even more of the challenge, is just getting to the start line, juggling all the different pressures, the financial element to it, the logistics element to it. Like at the moment, we're organising enormous amounts of equipment to come from Europe. We're deciding whether that gets sent to Dubai, whether it gets sent to the start line in Saudi. So juggling all of that can be a little bit distracting before the race, and then afterwards, it's sort of a snap back to reality. You've got to get back into the work mode and everything else.
Do you go back to the office like, the race this weekend was amazing?
Yeah, it's a little bit of an adrenaline dump once you get back to reality, but the show goes on. You've got to keep plugging away at work and life and everything else.
So when is the Dakar Rally actually happening? And if people want to know more about it, how can they get in touch with you? Yeah,
so the Dakar Rally kicks off on the 4th of January. And it will last up until the 19th of January. But the build-up will really be happening in December. And there's enormous amounts of racing here in the Emirates and throughout the region. There's 2 World Championship rounds that are hosted in the Emirates. There's Dubai International Baja, which is part of the World Championship Baja World Cup, which is on the 10th, 11th and 12th, all kicking off in Festival City here. And then we're going out racing in Qudra. And then there's the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, which kicks off at the end of February. And that tails off on the back of the Dakar Rally. But to get in touch and to follow us, and the best opportunity is to follow the race team on Instagram, which is at Vendetta Racing UAE, or my personal Instagram at Oran O'Kelly. I'll be sharing updates in the preparation to show you guys a bit of a behind the scenes as to what goes on with physical preparation, bike preparation, mental preparation, and just the logistics chaos that's going on at the moment, trying to source these products and items from all around the world.
So cool. Not only do we sometimes on the show get an insight into people doing really cool things that we just don't really know too much about. So there's that. And also you're going to be the first Irishman to compete in the Dakar Rally in Saudi. So that's amazing. That is Oran O'Kelly. Thank you so much for that insight. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you guys. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, Dubai.
Guys, that is all we have time for on the Lovin Dubai show this morning. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Bye-bye.